What this looks like. Let's find out. What's up? I was trying to ask a question. I was trying to see how I'm using my desktop this time, so I haven't done this yet on this. I'm wondering what it looks like. I haven't seen it yet, so I'm gonna log on myself. Let's see. What's up, everybody? Popping on in. What's up? What's up? We're gonna see. That's what it looks like live.
What's up, everybody? Popping on in. What's up? What's up?
That's what I sound like. Ugh. Oh, cool. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm busy trying to do a lot of things. Not more than I can handle, but just I got goals, you know. So let's talk about that. Trend. We will build it fast. Sure, and then you'll get a lot of other things fast as well too, like side effects. So, good morning, good afternoon. Cool. Let you guys get on in. But I want to say to ask guys, start asking questions or what if you want to chat about? I thought we, I'm gonna do next time we do these lives, it'll be in the gym studio, so we can do some more technique stuff like that. And then if you guys interested, I would say the most inexpensive way to get me as a coach is my school community. All my 3, 4, 5-day split, push-pull legs, final diet, all the new ebooks I'm creating and whatnot are going to be free there. It's $25 a month. Plus, we're doing once a week. We'll be doing once a week more, I would say, intimate Q&As or live sessions that you guys can be involved with as well too. So just letting you know, check the school link in the description below. Either way, good morning. Just wanted to say I've learned so much. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, and I'll be full full disclosure. We can chat about that. I need to get a Kleenex. We can definitely chat about that. I love this time of the season. We can definitely chat about that because if you know what this is. You guys want to hear? You guys want to hear this whole process? I'm going to give you guys. I actually want to do a video on, geared towards fitness, coaches who want to get into this space and literally tell them what's necessary in terms of like hiring people and whatnot. But when it comes, yeah, it's like for me, man, as soon as like especially like Canada, we go from like damp to dry, especially right around from now until it's actually summer. It's like the worst month for me. I just drip. I'm just like my kid drips. We're all dripping. But yeah, so I want to actually like literally because I feel like I think there's a part of this entire journey for all of us that I think if we're just more forefront and open about this entire process when it comes to creating a video and putting it out, you guys would understand so much more. Because I understand because I look at this entire thing from my ignorant self back when I was creating videos years ago, not really understanding like what goes behind putting in a thumbnail, a title, like SEO words. It's like so when people get when you get videos, there's a level of you have to follow these rules, or you just won't get seen. And I'll literally I can show you guys the difference. I'll be completely honest with you guys. If you go to my channel, go look at my views from I would say a week ago. And I'm in this group accelerator group. Marios, sorry, Marios. It's not the guy. Mauro Roos is the director, and basically I'm in his accelerator course going over understanding like better retention in videos, optimizing your video, and what's actually what goes into it. You can see I've made changes already to this based on it, and performance has increased because it's all about like creating something that's valuable, obviously, because you have to make videos based on what your audience is coming to see, right? So my audience is going to come to see me coach, mainly training technique. I guess I don't guess, but like my brand is I'm good at uh you know creating cues that are easy for people to understand. For the most part, people are going to come to my channel for training advice, technique, all the good stuff. So when it comes to and then like obviously questions, ask questions all you want. Heck yeah, interrupt me. This is for you guys. I'm just trying to, if whoever wants to hear it, tap on. If you're like, yo, Johnny, I just want to ask some questions about fitness. Chill out. That ain't for us. See, exactly that improve my point right there. So guys, when you're in here and there's not many of you guys, take advantage of that and just start asking questions. Ask them all. Right? So like there you go. I'm gonna put a heart there for that. I like that. The public bathroom queues. It's a queue because it's like everybody has probably experienced that before. Yeah, and there's a time like when I try to, I'm always dumbing things down, and like I hate saying it because it sounds so condescending, but I know that unless you're studying for anything that has to do with the body, you're not learning it. So it's our job, my job to try to make this so easy, make it super easy. And that's what I did when I coached in person. So I'm doing still now, bro. Can I have a chicken leg quarter for protein? Yes. You don't got it. Listen, there's going to be more fat on the darker the darker meat of chicken. Whatever. You're not bodybuilding, don't worry about it. The calorie difference it's enough, but not, I shouldn't say it's enough. If you're just smart about your calories, you're fine. Like that's what all it is. When it comes down to it, it's balanced. Like, and very, very simple. To give you guys just like straight up, if you're having 2,000 calories, let's say you're eating 2,000 calories, and 500 of those calories are fun calories. We'll call it fun calories, right? You're good. Like you are good. I'm out of focus, and I don't like that. Okay, let me get myself back into focus because that's annoying. There you go. Perfect. Yeah, so you're good. So like when it comes to like if you're eating like say 2,000 calories and you're eating from a chicken leg, I wouldn't worry whatsoever about the chicken leg. Eat the chicken, give your mom a break. And I mean, like if you're in Canada, man, chicken breasts are turning to be like gold. So the leaner the meat, the more money you better have. That's what it lists. That's where we're at right now. What do you think about the supplement NMN? I honestly, I'm pretty sure it's one of Greg's, or I know Greg hasn't. I know Greg does. I know a bunch of other people do as well. I haven't looked into it. My supplement game knowledge in terms of like outside of the necessary isn't. I'm gonna be honest. I haven't researched into anything outside of what I've already done. Anything else like when it comes to, I look at this like my biggest thing is like, are we taking care of the important things first, and then is that like an extra thing just to add to the fuel of the fire, which is good. But yeah, I got to look into that. So sorry about the answer. I'll definitely look into that for sure. We can do a quick little research on that and give me the idea of what it is. But can you please explain the best approach for prep deficit? Increase cardio or decrease calories? So really, really, really good question. You're here, like, and I did a video on this like last week. It's go on my video last week. It's me with the stomach out. I push my stomach out fat and stomach out lean. And whoever made a comment on, my bad. I was just anyway. The best approach when it comes to losing fat is this. If you're if you're like most people, you've accumulated a lot of body fat because you're eating in a surplus and not doing as much activity in terms of, like, I would say, outside of the gym. Like if you're not doing that much cardio and you've overeaten, the best approach is to, one, clean out the calories. So like whatever calories you were eating, let's just take the obvious things that are junk and get them out, and then increase your activity in terms of like your cardio. Every time we take away food, we take away fuel, and our body needs fuel to do what you want it to do. So if you want to lose fat, put on muscle, your body needs fuel for that. So every time we chip away at the calorie part first, we're taking away energy, and it's almost like we're taking away the like pep in our step, right? Because the lower your calories go, the slower your metabolism is going to go, because your body doesn't want it. Your body's always trying to get to homeostasis. Like your body always wants to get back to baseline. So you got to understand, like, if we keep dropping calories, your body's gonna be like, well, I can't just continue to have my metabolism as high as it was while you were eating food. So it's gonna start slowing things down more and more the closer it gets to that caloric, I would say, need for the body's essentials. So go there first, right? So I would say, like, clean up the food first and add cardio if you're not doing any cardio. 30 minutes a day, do the base 5 days a week, 150 minutes a week, basically. It's 5 days a week, 30 minutes of cardio. Do that first. And then once you clean things up and you might hit a first plateau, dice out 250 calories. And then, and then like rinse and repeat. Like, and I would say ride out the calories until you hit a plateau again. Then increase your cardio. And your cardio increase. When I have a bunch of competitors competing this year, and they'll start off slow on their cardio, like very minimal cardio, and you would be surprised how much an increase of 5 to 10 minutes does when you're adhering to the other parts of your plan. So go there first. It's the best approach, I believe. Can you post the link to a shoulder dumbbell workout video? If I can get there, give me a sec. Did I do dumbbell? I did a dumbbell only shoulder video. You just got to type in Johnny Shreve dumbbell only. Well, that's just, well, I guess it's not that easy to find. There you go. There it is. All right. This is in the link in the description down here. I'm posting it. There you go. Johnny, how are you? I'm good. I want to ask about biceps, the most difficult part to grow. How can I optimize volume / pump in my program and explore what's working for me? So I would say this is like number one, get the exercise that you can connect with the most. Make sure that exercise you can progressive overload it. And then obviously it's gonna be the most optimal position, meaning like any bicep movement that's gonna create stretch at the bottom of the lift and that you enjoy, that you can progressive overload. Now, when it comes to volume, I find that like biceps, calves, forearms, triceps, you can train those things. Like, again, when it comes to the fundamentals of hypertrophy, training each muscle group 2 to 4 times a week, I think those are the muscles we can train 2 to 4 times a week, especially if they're stubborn muscles to grow. When it comes to load itself, I find that's also one of those muscles that when we talk about training between 30 to 85% of one rep max to elicit muscle growth, I find that those are the muscle groups that we don't have to go to the higher end. We can go to easily 50-60% of our one rep max, right? So like, again, it's just like gauging a weight that you can do I would say a long duration of a set. So like, let's say it doesn't matter how many reps you do. Let's just say your bicep set takes between 40 to 60 seconds. I'm just, like, I would say like 45-50 seconds, like your long set that you're taxing the muscle and nothing else. I think that's probably the best approach when it comes to that. And then doing that like twice, like 2 to 4 times a week. Again, if it's hard for you to grow, 4 times a week for sure. I really enjoy powerlifting and bodybuilding. Is there a good split for both to grow both? Or is it optimal natural? Or is it just not optimal naturally? Look, there's there's no such thing as training methodologies that are better for natural and not natural. So like get that in your head, because there are natural federations for powerlifting, and there's tested, there's tested and non-tested, drug tested, whatever. So when it comes down to, if you enjoy powerlifting, yeah, like I enjoy, because like, look, I believe you're not a powerlifter, and I'm not a professional superbike um, you know, racer, but I like to race. I go to track and whatnot. I just got to understand that I understand that there is risk and reward to what I'm doing. So enjoy it. I would say, if anything, periodize, right? So make it part of your training block, right? Your first training block is going to be your build phase, and you're going to have a strength phase, and you're going to have a power phase. And your power phase would be, your your powerlifting, your deadlifting, and whatnot, and then your endurance phase, right? You can even get the endurance phase out and just keep those three blocks. And that would be the best case to do that. I think it'd be best that would be easiest for sure. Put them together if you can. I used to, back in the day, I used to basically power body build. So if it was a leg day, I maxed out my squats. If it was like another leg day, obviously my second leg day, I would max out my sumo deads. If it was like a chest day, then I would max out my bench, and then I'd move on to the other movements. So like I would just, if anything, keep it separate. It makes it's easier on the body, and it's easier to progress. It's easier to actually, progressive overload and actually see gains from that, rather than like kind of tax yourself out too much. Hope that answers your question, brother. Can you work out with injured but still have a good small back injury that doesn't stop isolation exercises? Yeah, like I have, yes, 100%. I have a deteriorating vertebrae, L4 and L5. I have osteophytes, arthritis. I got sciatica. I've been able to, mitigate the pain and the issues from my, mobility and whatnot. But when it comes down to it, for me, it was just like finding exercises that can allow me to train back. So like, if anything, like chest support, I would say chest support and pull downs are going to be your best bet when it comes to training your back. I would, stay away from hinging movements where your back's just, you're relying on your lower back, if that's where the pain is, or the issue is. But I would still make sure we're strengthening as well too. So don't think of just, avoiding, like, if you have an injured back, we don't want to just stay shy of it. We want to make sure that we're actually doing something to help that issue in the first place, whether it's like work on your mobility, make sure in like massage, not therapeutic, but obviously, deep tissue, maybe getting some cupping or whatever done. So making sure we're still trying to fix or strengthen those areas that are injured. Is it better to exhaust one muscle slash body part at a time, or cycle sets? Like finish chest first, then triceps, then it all depends on what your goals are, right? So like, I think this will answer a lot of people's questions. When it comes down to what your training looks like, it should reflect your goals, right? So if my goal is to maximize muscle growth in my chest, I'm not going to cycle through anything. I'm going to isolate, I'm going to do isolation or whatnot. So I'm going to have a day or even 2 days where I'm isolating my chest, right? If I want to maximize, if I want to, great endurance workout, save some time, training my full body. Yeah, cycling through is a really good technique to do. So, if you're, again, when it comes to your goals, your training split should reflect your goal. So like look at your training splits, like again, address your goals, and then look at your training split and be like, does it reflect my goal? Recently switched from PPL to antagonist. So far, I'm liking it. What are your thoughts? I think it's good. I used to do it all the time, training, going back and forth. I've done mostly all training methodologies, I would say. And I enjoyed it. Would it, like, I like doing it with, like, if I'm doing an arm day, I like doing back and forth like that. Or like if we're doing, like, back in the day when I was doing when I was training or programming for college, we did our 4-day split. Day one will be chest and back. So we right after, you basically would flip flop. Chest first, then right after you're done your chest exercise, go to back exercise, and that'll be your first set. Then back and forth like that. So yeah, it was like I said, it reflects your goals and you're enjoying it. Have at her. Yeah, your cues and their explanations are great. Appreciate it. Thank you. It's so it is really easy to just fall in the trap of just like I just want to move weight. It's I made this comment. I have clients that I coach in person online. They basically they put me online while they train, and then I'll be in my gym as well too. And then when they I'll coach them up on things. But I always tell them that and this is where I want to get people to, and this is where we need to get to. There not many people are really coaching this, and I am doing a lot of it. We need to understand that training muscle isn't relying on the movement or the exercise to activate muscle. And here's what I mean by that. If I have to get under a bench to feel my chest, then I am relying on that movement for me to feel my chest. I should be able to give myself a pump by just doing this, right? So what I want people to understand is I want them to understand how to activate, not kind of the mind and muscle connection, but how to activate their muscle and then load it, right? That's what we want. If you want to and that's how you build muscle way more efficiently, like way more efficiently. It's how do I, it's loading the muscle while it's already engaged. So like, for instance, the guy that asked earlier about biceps, I'm flexing I'm right now, I'm flexing my bicep, right? I'm here, I'm flexing it on the way down, I'm still flexing it. That's how I train biceps, regardless of where or what I'm using. I'm flexing and I'm loading it being flexed, and that's how you build muscle that much more efficiently. I would say, like in terms of like muscle mind connection, and then really feeling the muscle and being able to load it in the proper position. Because when you're at the stretch, like there's one thing of being at the stretch and being down here in your stretch, it's great. But if you're like not activated, it doesn't really matter, right? You're stretched, not activated. So you want to lower and you want to be, flexed on the way down or lowering the weight, not fighting the weight coming down because there's weight there and then the weight's gone. You're not doing anything ever, right? So that's what I want people to get to, is understanding how to engage the muscle while it's while you're training. We got a bunch of questions down here. My bad. Sorry, guys. All right. Move a little close here. What up, Johnny? How did you enjoy your training with Phil DeRue? Did any of your ailments, shoulders, hips prevent you from doing any exercise? Yes. Well, actually, you guys watched the latest one when we did the last we were basically doing a like hit training in the very end. I was running, they were doing rowing. I think doing air assault. And for me, I have something going on in my hip right now, which is really super annoying. It could be, I don't know if it's bursitis or whatnot, but I still have strength. I still have mobility in it. But when I'm, moving it around, there is like some kind of like, I wouldn't say an impingement, but like it's annoying. And it stopped me from being able to continue those hit. Like I was still able to deadlift, all the warm-up sets and whatnot. I was able to do everything, but at the end when I was doing the actual burnout and running, I think just my, just the fundamental or technique of like running when your foot's grabbing and pulling, I think that's what really made it worse. But that's the only thing. It was at the very end of the exercise as well too. So other than that, I could do everything, absolutely everything. What y'all eating right now? Right now, I'm eating nothing. But my last meal was 180 grams of ground beef with cheese, and then I had a shake of my greens from Blue Star, and then fruit, and mix that up together and drank that. And that was my meal. I love that meal actually. It's quick, easy. I get all my essentials in there, and we're good. I came across and heard about you, um, about NMM from the anti-aging research, speaking about that being part of the protocol. This is my first time hearing about Greg doing something with it. I'm pretty sure he has it in one of his supplements. I heard it before. That's only because he only really promotes that as much as he does. He does a good job promoting his own stuff. So I've heard it, and I'm pretty sure Huberman has made a bunch of. I'm pretty sure that's where most of these new, or I would say, up to date supplements are coming in. Um, you hear it from Huberman first, and everyone else hears it trickles downhill. So yeah, he did a dumbbell shoulder. Very appreciate it. That's a while ago, man. I get down here and ask these questions. Waiting for the full body routine, Johnny. That's coming in soon. It's coming in. You guys probably noticed that the videos I put out last week are all videos that you guys have suggested or asked for. So keep sending them in, man. Bring them in. Also, make sure you guys, I don't know if it should be there. My Discord group is open. So heading over there right now. If it's not up, I will put it in the description right now, actually, for you guys. Invite. It is in the description right now. There's my Discord group. Join. It's there for everybody. All right. What vitamin supplements would you recommend? I'm currently taking the Blue Star multivitamin and AminoFast. Great. That's really good. Awesome. So from just Blue Star, this top three, 100% omegas, and then on top of that, vitamin D. I know they have like when comes to multivitamin. Multivitamins are great. They kind of cover everything, but for me, I like getting in the essential ones like by themselves along with it. So like I have my vitamin D, omega-3, probiotic, creatine, and magnesium. And those are my go-tos. Much love to you as well. Recommendation: protein requirements for losing fat. Cover 1 to 1 grams of protein per body weight. That's such an easy thing to do. When you're in a deficit, you're covering all bases for protein needs. When you're getting older, same thing. So 1 to 1 grams of protein per body weight. Periodization blocks cycles are about 12 weeks each. No, so like certain ones, so you have like certain blocks will be a little short on this. So like I would say your periodize, I would say hypertrophy build phase will be anything between like 4 to 6 weeks, and you can push it longer. You can 100% push hypertrophy longer, 8 weeks. Like you can push it long. Your strength phase is going to be more so like around like the 2 to 4. You can maybe push it a little longer than that, like maybe 6 weeks, but more like 2 to 4 weeks. Power phase, same. Like think about like the more ballistic, or I would say the higher the load, the less time you want to be in that phase, just because your body's going to take a beating. For my clients, what I do is when I get them in a build phase, I make it between 4 to 6 weeks, and I basically say like, let's just see how things are rolling at 4 weeks, and if you're still making progress and you don't have any signs of you're not sore, you're not feeling beat up, we'll push it to the 6. Like again, like if you're not sore, if you're not beat up and you're still making progress, we'll push it to 6 weeks max. But for the most part, most of my men and women, they end up, it's like around like 4 or 5 weeks. I don't see many go past 5 weeks. They're already, their body gets beat up a little bit just for that switch and train a little heavier. So um my Apple Watch says I burned 350 calories running 25 minutes, or it says I burned 350 walking for an hour. Will it have the same results? So I have the Apple Watch as well too. It's not accurate to that. Don't like shouldn't say that. It's like I'll ever get sponsored by Apple. It's joking. Imagine. So I take my heart rate. I use this to give me an idea of my heart rate and some other health features on this. The sleep one is pretty accurate. The blood oxygen is like 4 points off accurate, and your heart rate is accurate. I don't take I don't look at that part at all on this, like if this is like burn calories. Like it'll tell me that I worked out and I burned 400 calories, and it's like, no, I didn't. Um, so I would just, if anything, just I'll give you good easy math for you guys to do. If you have any machine that has wattage on it, that shows a wattage, 3.6 equals the hour times wattage will give you an actually accurate amount of calories burned. So like if you do 150 watts, I know it's all hard because this is what I basically do all the time for prep. 150 watts for an hour is going to give me 540 calories. And that is fairly accurate. Like an hour of cardio will, at that pace, will get you up there at least. So that's kind of how I look at it. It's always good to, here's a good thing too, is like look at your Apple Watch as something that kind of just to give you, something that's like a number that's consistent esque. You know what I mean? Like if you have the same thing measuring the same thing all the time, then you can actually go by that. But I wouldn't base your caloric intake by your Apple Watch or any of those watches by any means. You're gonna end up eating too much. I'm out of focus. Give me in focus. What's in focus? This is in focus. All right, there you go. Sorry. Thank you, periodization block. That's thank you. In terms of weight loss, yes, 100% gram of protein per body weight. Walking is goated. Hell yeah. Johnny, how long do you think a natural has to train to reach their peak muscle building potential? 10 years? I can't say no the answer to that, but I would have to say that I would say so around that if that person is consistently doing all things to build muscle, right? Like what I mean by that is, like I'm just like a broken record, but training with a hard enough stimulus, eating enough protein, um, eat enough calories, recover in terms of like hydration, sleep, all that good stuff. That is, if you're doing that and then consistently trying to progressive overload, like you're adding a rep or adding weight, and yeah, I think that you can definitely in 10 years do that. I would believe so for sure. But I said like under those circumstances. I'm gonna do that all the time. Canadian question. Nice. What's this? Any tips for training for hockey? Yes. Yeah, what's up? So when it comes to training for hockey, and I used to train a few hockey players actually. I programmed for them. So there's a few things, right? You're only going to get better at the skill stuff on the ice, right? Like don't go like dry land training is like yay, but it's like you're on the ice. Like there's a lot of, and I might get people like, oh, I played hockey, so I can, I skate. Anyway, I was explaining myself to myself. But when it comes to like hockey, yes, like training for strength and power in the gym is going to translate to stride power, and whatnot, right? So like those things, working on your hip mobility, your mobility, like your just mobility in general, your hip power, strength, those things will translate. But when it comes to the skill itself, skating, agility, your puck, your stick handling, that's all stuff that you cannot replicate in the gym. So if anything, you want to be as strong and powerful as you can. And then again, like when it comes to your overall cardio, yeah, you can definitely do dry land training when it comes to your cardio for sure, right? Skating on ice and running on the track or outside is a different ground, but when it comes to overall, cardiovascular output, you can definitely increase that by doing outside, running outside and whatnot. But yeah, definitely getting stronger in the gym, um, working like obviously legs and being stronger and powerful, plyometrics, those things are going to help, and then it will translate to the ice. But again, being on the ice, you can't replace ice or all the things involving ice. Damn, 60. Who just sent that? Appreciate it. Thank you. Is that a question there? Or not a question. Thank you, Stefan. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Why are you doing that? All right, let's go. Keep going. Keep going. We're way up here. Whoa. Okay. Been going to the gym and eating well for about a year now. But if I'm being honest, I barely have built any muscle. Am I too old to build? You are not. You are not. You are not too old to build muscle. I need you to be more specific in the comment section. But I hear this is and it's like, yo, good for you being in the gym. Do not stop. I'm gonna give you some good gold here so you understand how to approach and keep going. Eating well, right? There's a difference between, like I just mentioned like earlier. Eating well is like one part of the equation. Eating well in my world, whenever I talk to somebody, they say they eat well. And I was talking to my client last week actually, and she's telling me like, "Yo, I eat well," and she's like, "I'm eating the heck, I'm eating all the food, all the right foods and whatnot," but she wasn't eating enough. Um, she was eating good food, but not enough food. She wasn't eating enough protein, but she was eating good food. She's also a vegetarian and not, you know what I mean? So like everything she was doing in terms of like food choices were great, but in terms of amounts and in terms of macronutrients, she wasn't doing enough and it was impeding her growth in the gym. So like when it comes down to it, it doesn't matter. Like, and when I'm gonna say this again, training, right? So you need an overall stimulus, training stimulus, then protein, then calories, then recovery water and whatnot. You can train as hard as you can. You can have the hardest, best workouts ever. If you're not eating enough protein, you're not building muscle. Sorry. If you're doing enough protein and training your ass off, and you're not eating enough calories, you're not building any muscle, right? These are all non-negotiables. If you're eating enough protein, eating enough calories, killing it in the gym, and your sleep sucks, you're building minimal muscle, right? Same with like hydration. So like all the things I said are like those are non-negotiables. If you want to build muscle, you need to do those things day in, day out. It's monotonous, it's boring, it's not glamorous, it's not a shortcut, but that's what's necessary. So it's not just, it's annoying. There you go. It's not just about, eating well, it's about doing all those things consistently and then you build muscle. So, yes, I have clients who are, majority of them are 30 plus, 30 plus. And I'm talking like I'm talking more 40s and all building muscle. Every last one of them are building muscle naturally, naturally, right? I have a few that are obviously enhanced, but doesn't matter. They're all every single person that I am coaching is building muscle. Why? Because that is the biggest thing that when I'm coaching athletes, like I coach them up on their form as well too. So as a coach, my biggest problem I had was when I was in the gym, the certain gyms I worked at, you weren't allowed to give them a diet. Like you weren't, which was really annoying because like you can have the best workout ever and they go home and they do whatever they do. And then when it comes to, in-person coaching, they're not calling you or asking you questions, they're only there at the next session. So when I started my online business, it was to, and this is just literally how I do things. My goal is to make sure that I can control all of the variables to make sure that they are making progress. So when it comes to training, I'm making sure that they're training properly. Proper fundamentals and technique is going to help you build muscle faster, like more optimal. Why? Because your body's not going to, if you're not coordinated, you don't build muscle before you're coordinated. Your body goes through a process of learning something first and then putting on muscle. So I make sure that my athletes can move. And because training is something we can do very, very regularly, that's the thing that's going to see the progress faster than dieting, because dieting takes time for you to actually create a habit of meal prepping. Like every time you meal prep, that's a rep. like you meal prep maybe twice a week. Every time you cook, that's a rep. Every time I go to the gym and do bench, like that's 100 reps, like every, so you're, so I make sure I take care of those things first. And then, nutrition, all those things that they're doing on a consistent basis, and then they're putting on muscle. And these are, I'm talking right into the 70s. Like it's 70s building muscle. So like, yeah. How do you get all the way up there? Hey Johnny, is it better to train just after walking or before going to bed? Waking, my bad. Sorry, it's far away from me. It's better to, so in the grand scheme of things, it's always kind of good to train around our circadian rhythm, right? When we're at our peak and our best, which is like sometimes in the morningish, when the sun's up and it's, but that's in a perfect world. When it comes down to it, it's when can you commit to training in that time? Do you have the most amount of energy? Like for me, I'm not training after 5 o'clock. Like it's just hard for me. Like at the end of the day, I'm just like, I don't trying to do anything. I train early in the morning. So it matters that when you can actually commit and do it. And that's really what matters. Your body's gonna adjust, right? There obviously is gonna be like the best times of the day to work out, but guess what? We don't have the life to be able to just train at the best times always. There are some people that can. They have that leisure to do it. Even myself, I do this and coach for a living, but like I got clients. I'm at 6, 7. This today it was 6, 7, 8:30, 9:30, 11. It's like, so I'm either going to train with my client, which I do in the morning, or if I don't, then I got to train after. So it's really even myself. So a lot of things, like a lot of the tips I give you guys is because I'm going through things myself. So it's like, I'm like, if I'm feeling this, you guys definitely feeling it. So yeah. But I definitely wouldn't go. I mean, before, if you had to train before you go to bed, then you have to. You just got to do that. What up? What up, man? Been waiting to catch you. What's up? All right, man. All right. Got 2 questions. Probably easy for you. All right. I hope you're asking it down there. All right, you did. All right, cool. I'll get down here in a second, buddy. What's your advice for a 50-year-old going back into weightlifting and losing some fat? My advice is to approach it just like all the New Year's resolutioners. What I mean by that is like, don't jump into balls to the wall, crazy. This is your opportunity to start all over the best way. So you're going to learn, you're not going to load that much on the bar or whatever. You're going to learn how to move correctly first. You're going to increase your performance, your form, your range of motion. You're going to prioritize your mobility through your shoulders and your hips, right? You're going to make sure you're doing cardio to help with cardiovascular health and giving you more energy when it comes to just like overall day-to-day, set to set. And then when it comes to fat burning as well too. And then nutrition wise, you're going to just like, make sure you're eating enough that will put you in a deficit, but not that's going to take away from overall performance. So start there first. And then as you get better in terms of your mobility, your form, range of motion, all those things, then start increasing, adding on a rep and then adding on weight. But like for the most part as well, is exercises too that are going to translate to everyday world, everyday life. You need to be able to, like everybody who is here right now, I don't care how old you are, you need to be able to make it to the ground and back up with ease, right? I got a little impingement in my hip and there's like, it's here and there, it kind of bugs me, but I can get up and down with no problem. And that, if you can't do that right now, I don't care how strong you are. I don't like that means how much you can squat means jack all. If you can't go to the floor and stand back up, it means nothing. So like when it comes to, everyone should be doing this, but I'll be making sure that I'm doing exercises or any activity that's gonna, increase my overall functionality. That's the biggest thing, especially getting older. But again, I got clients right now that are doing things to reduce their current health problems or issues that could have all been avoided if they would have never stopped training. What I mean by not stopping, I mean by like you don't go years without training. You don't go years without eating properly. You don't go years without mobility, right? They could have all prevented where they're at right now had they have continued to train and train smart. So yeah, that's my advice in there. When someone wants to see all their, I'm gonna move it closer. There you go. When someone wants to see all their abs, can it be achieved? Let's say the last time they saw their abs was 175, but now they're 200, but like this weight. Is it possible? So I'm assuming at one point you were 175. um, so a lot can change, right? What was the body fat percentage at 175? So I wouldn't say it's like the goal is like, because that happens all the time. It happens all the time when people say like, I used to have abs when I was, this weight, and now I'm this weight, and now I want to get back to that weight, and that's when I'm going to see the abs. It's like what matters is what was your body fat percentage at that weight, because you can get to that body fat percentage maybe at 200 pounds, right? Not 200 pounds, but like say like, maybe you put on muscle, maybe that body weight now it ends up being 185. Let's say you put on 10 pounds of muscle in the last, I don't know how many years. So I wouldn't get too stuck on weight translating to a look more so than like, what was the body fat percentage? If you don't know that, then again, for me, I'm always going to give that advice is don't get stuck on a weight, get stuck on the potential body fat percentage that you can get to. DM me guys if you want. I'll guess your weight. I've seen it enough times, more than enough. So I would do that. I would look at that first. But yeah, I would say you could say that if you get close to there, maybe. I don't want to guarantee instead because again, life circumstances then could have been a lot different, maybe more active. Um, you know, is one body part a day for 5 weeks good enough to build muscle? Yes, it is. It all depends on how. Yes, it is 100% because you can train your 5 day split easily. You can do that for sure. Um, you just got to make sure you're going hard enough. Now, again, like you're on the lower end. If like here's my thing: if you're gonna be at the gym 5 days a week, you can definitely program to be able to train each muscle group twice a week, right? If you're doing like put it this way, if you're doing a push pull legs is 6 days, so if we're doing like 5 days, you got chest back, say push pull legs, push push pull, right? So let's say you have one leg day, and I would say, and I would program that if someone had well developed legs. I actually have an athlete. He's 63. Brian, I showed him um, on my IG page. He trains 6 days a week, 5 days a week, right now because his legs are. He's in a strength phase, but his legs are his absolute dominant, and the other muscle groups are not necessarily behind his legs, but his legs don't need that much more work. So we have push pull legs, push pull legs, push pull. We can also do a push pull legs, push pull, and then legs again, like a push pull in one day. So chest, tries, back buys, legs, shoulders and back together, and then legs again. So it all depends. You can definitely like change things up to fit your goals. Again, if you're training only one muscle group a week, because that's what you know and you think that's the only way you can do it, I gotta say on one time plans and also go check it out. I'll make you a plan. I actually make you a plan. Um, hey Johnny, I've been watching your videos for a long while. Appreciate you and been implementing a lot of your stuff in my training. Thank you, bro. Thank you, Niz. Thank you. That means a lot. It does. Kev, hi Johnny. Hope you're well. This is a good training program you can recommend. Is there a good training program you can recommend on a cut? The push pull legs training ebook on my site. It's again when it comes to on a cut, right? Put it this way: bodybuilders on a cut when they train. We train 5-6 days a week, right? So I'm gonna train as frequent as I can still, so I can continue to build muscle or keep muscle on my body while I'm going into a cut. For me, when it came to bodybuilding, all the way down to the stage. So I'm gonna keep my training volume still pretty high, right? So again, it's gonna come to what can you commit to. If you can get in the gym 6 days a week and you're on a cut, go 6 days a week. They're the best bet. There's not necessarily a great plan for cuts. There's a I'm trying to lose body weight, body fat, right? I'm trying to lose body fat, and this is how many times I can go to the gym, right? Like you can increase your, I would say, your output in terms of cardio by training, say, like if you're doing more endurance workouts, maybe doing like, RX movements, like, your CrossFit, also, I say CrossFit, I say like more like a Metcon, metabolic conditioning training. You can add on to the calorie burning along with your cardio, and that can help. I would say that would be the other type of way to train if you want to maximize fat burning. I would say do that, but again, you can train 3, 4, or 5, 6 days a week and still lose fat, and all ways of training will be good. You just got to make sure you're training hard enough. Wise man Jay, what's good? Look at Eddie Hall or other stingmen, strongmen. Sorry, I read that wrong. That's what it said. How many sets needed per week per muscle for hypertrophy? Do I say this because I just did a video on this and it's not out yet? But I break it down in a good video. But when it comes to actually, the video is on how many sets do you need, or exercise? How many exercise do you need in a day in sets? But on a week to week, I'll explain to you in a day. 3 to 12 hard sets in a day. You can do 10 to 24 hard sets in a week, right? And that's splitting the muscle groups up. So you can do half the volume on one day, half the volume on the other day. You can break all, if you say it's like buys or tries, whatever you're doing, you can break them all up, 4 times if you wanted to. So, on a week to week, 10 to 24 hard sets. How many people doing 24 hard sets? I don't know. Some people are. It varies. But yeah, there's your answer. 2 questions. Supplements first. First one, creatine and HMB. Creatine, great. Take it 100%. HMB, I gotta get like on these acronyms. My player fitness competes. Essentially kind of like creatine, but I would just use creatine. Yeah, I think like it's good that we're on our supplement game here, but like here's the thing: before I really hope I'm saying this with pure care. You need to be doing the other things first before supplements. If you're not training hard enough, getting enough protein, eating enough calories, sleeping well, drinking water, and you're like, I'm gonna do these supplements, like all this shit doesn't matter. Like this stuff is useless. This is useless if I'm not following the basics, right? This stuff's useless. So creatine is great. Make sure that you're doing all the things you need to do first, and then add those things. Those will just exacerbate the results of you following those things I've said multiple times. Johnny Wick, like that. I don't know what else was funny to me. How did you get how you get your LOD cylinder filled daily? What? My LOD? Man, I don't know what that means. I've been watching endless amounts of videos regarding shoulder pain, learning mobility, exercise, and stretching incline, bench and dumbbell overhead press still kills. Yet no problem with lateral raises. Yeah. I would stay away from movements that are going to, again, like if you can only do ladder raises, um, keep doing ladder raises. If other movements are hurting, do not do them until you're good, until you're healed or clear enough to train. I got a question here. I broke my foot some time ago, and currently there is a big difference in muscle mass between my quad. What exercise can I do to fix this? No split squats because pain from injury. Okay, so this is when training for muscle imbalances matters. This is exact when people ask me about how do I fix muscle imbalances. Everyone's gonna have different muscle like balance on both sides. We're gonna be a little off. But when it comes to like surgeries like this, what the? Can anyone see that? Oh my god. Well, yeah, cool. Anyway, when it comes to like coming back from injury, and there's obviously been some muscle atrophy because of the injury, that's what you do. Number one, unilateral work for sure is definitely 100% trained bilaterally, meaning train like say like leg press with both legs on the plate is bilateral. So you're training both legs. While doing that, you still actually build the other leg as well too, right? Then do unilateral movements as well too. So if you can't, if the quad's smaller, quad leg extensions. Leg extensions are great to do. Um, and do those until you can actually load the foot. Um, you know, if you can do like one leg press, do it. I'm assuming that might hurt too if you have problems with split squats. But I would say for sure start off with just doing leg extensions. Like that's leg extensions is like one of your main or only actual quad isolating movements. What I mean by that is it's the only thing working, right? So like le- uh, lunges or split squats aren't quad isolating movements. They're a hamstring, glute, a little bit of hamstring. Like sorry, it's a glute quad exercise, a little bit of hamstrings, not as much activation there, but yeah. Another question. I've been trying. I've been trying. I'm trying get back. It's hard to read some of these sentences. All good though. I'm trying get back to lifting weight, but found myself getting bored. Any advice when training for boxing? What? Yo, man, my bad. It's hard. It's good, man. It's probably not your first language, and that's totally fine. I'm trying to get back to lifting weights, but find myself getting bored. Any advice when training for boxing? Okay, I'm assuming that I'm assuming regardless of what training you're doing, you're getting bored. Um, I did a video on how to not quit and stuff like that, but I would say like if anything, you have to really understand. I don't hate saying like what's your why. You know what I mean? Making sure that you're always coaching yourself up internally, like not motivating yourself, but understanding like where you're going with this, like like envisioning or having visualizations of where you're trying to go and seeing it. Acknowledging the hard work you're doing, and then rewarding yourself, doing all the things that keep you going. Because when it comes to like training, I find that it's very for most people it's hard to stay motivated because when it comes down to it, when people get into the gym, they're getting in the gym because they want to look a certain way, and that certain way is going to take time. So it's understanding like you need to understand of the process, right? And not be so fixated on the outcome. Get get in that day to day and try to keep yourself up that way. But you gotta it's gotta be worth it for you. And if it's not worth it for you, you're gonna find every reason to not train hard and to quit. Um, All right. We had a couple more left. We're still going. We're still going. I've been watching endless amounts of already. Cool. Oh wait, hold on a sec. Sorry, I didn't answer this. Oh, and I did. Yeah, just keep doing exercises that do not give you injury or give you pain. Um, uh, All smooth. But how would you do it? I don't know what he's talking about there. Sorry. Best or safest, less bad pre-workout. Um, PBK. There you go. Use my code Johnny10. Actually, Johnny, what is your take on 10-second pause flex for the first rep for any workout and then crank out 15-20 reps? I've been doing this for about a month now and I noticed more definition. Your thoughts? So I don't want to like burst your bubble, but there's no exercise that's going to give you more definition. Your definition can be caused more so than being in a deficit, genetics, and your workout style could be burning more calories, um, all those things. But my take on it is, again, I'm assuming just like squeezing at the top. We know that in terms of muscle building, muscle growth, hypertrophy, the stretches we're going to get the most. Here we go again. The stretches we're going to get the most amount of muscle recruitment. So I don't want to focus so much on squeezing here for a bit and then just repping out 20 reps. If anything, to make that more optimal, I would say squeeze for 10 seconds and then you're going to you're going to pump out as many good quality reps to maybe a few reps of failure at a still a good, tempo with full range of motion. When I hear pump out a bunch of reps, that to me in my head is like, what's the point of those reps? I would say make sure all the reps are quality. Don't emphasize one rep as the one quality rep, and the rest are kind of like bullshit reps. So I would say that. I'm convinced my Fitbit tells me the amount of calories burned, BMR, which is confusing. You're I Yeah, you got to check your metrics on your Fitbit, but like when it comes to even my Apple Watch, it's just going to take the equation depending on what they're using for data to gauge the algorithm in your like in your watch. Like it's in like if you put in your age, your weight, your height, you know it's basically going to take a bias of that. And most, if or not all, I would say heart rate monitors, calorie calculators, whatever it is, they're all gauged on an equation based on your height, your age, and your weight. And things can be very skewed because, again, just be, we're not all the same. So, not all people who are 5 foot, almost eight, 215 to 20 pounds, and 40, turning 41, are going to burn the same amount of calories in an exercise, right? And that'd be pretty cool to do that, to see if like get somebody that would be a really cool thing to do, is get two watches, put the metrics in there, and then do an extra like train together, and then see if it does if it what it says. I like to see that because I do know that heart rate will be something that will um that's a variable that is actually that changes the outcome, but yeah. Yo, Tony, what's good, man? For cable ladder raises, focusing on the stretch of the delt, is that the best to go behind? Um, there's a few ways. There's not necessarily the best. There's a bunch of ways you can do it. You can do ones where like I like sometimes you can hang and it coming across like this way. You can do I forget what it's called, but you put one leg in front of the other and the cable goes between your leg, stretch that way. You can do it behind, and you're gonna get stretch from there. So, but I think it's like wherever you can, because not everybody can load behind their shoulders. Everyone's mobility is gonna be a little different. So I find it's like if you can maneuver your body in a way where you can get the good stretch, I think all stretch is going to be good for you in terms of like if it's giving you similar stimulus, right? So regardless if I'm like this way or like that on my back, as long as I'm stretching it, that's the important thing. It seems like to get decent size, you have to jump on the juice. Um, well, here's the thing. Here's the funny thing when you say that. everyone has a limit. Everyone has a governor, right, to their body. It's called your heart. Your heart is going to allow you to build as much muscle as you can naturally genetically with what you can. And let's say for the most part, let's put it this way. Every bodybuilder that you see that's on the juice, obviously, is going to be anything from 20 to 100 pounds over their natural body weight, right? What they could have achieved without steroids, they're around 20 to 100 pounds over, right? Here's an easy example. Nick Walker, right? Um, Screw that. Every bodybuilder you right now, when they first started, before they were on anything, when I started bodybuilding, I started my first show. I just finished playing football. I was an inside slot running back position hybrid, and I was 198 pounds. I went on right after that. Like soon as like it's like when's the next bodybuilding show? It was like then I'm like, all right, let's do this. And my cycle was only it was test, mast, and tren. I only did a shot of tren because I did it myself and by myself, and no one told me about the cough. I did one shot, I pulled it out, the blood squirted on my leg, which is I was like, what the heck? And while I was like, kind of it's happened before, and then I started coughing, and I'm just like, and I'm on the ground having these trend coughs, and I'm like, F this is stupid. So I did literally, I only had enough for a bottle of Masteron and test. And before I came off, my biggest, I was 270 pounds, right? So, and right now, like when I got to college, when I first got to St. Mary's playing football, I started off, I was there at 217 pounds. So naturally, my biggest I was 217 pounds. On gear, I got to 270. And I competed on stage at around 230. So that's another 15. Now I was a very minimalist for the until I became a pro, and I wasn't a pro long enough to push the load as much. Like I pushed them, but I didn't push it as much as I was planning to. Had the pandemic have not have happened, I would have been, I was planning on just being just massive. So good thing it didn't happen. But yeah. Like, so again, the whole point of that, me saying that is that you can have great size on your own. Genetics play a massive role with that, but as well as like consistency. When it comes to bodybuilders and us, we're really, really, really good at understanding delayed gratification, and we're professionals at repping things. That's all. We're really good at doing the same shit over and over and over and over and over again. So you can do that naturally and get the most amount of muscle. Now, when it comes to like how much muscle you want, in hindsight, if you're not on stage and you're not competing to be a professional bodybuilder, the amount of muscle that bodybuilders have is all 100% unnecessary. 100%. Like if you are not competing to be a winning competitive bodybuilder in the IFBB, the muscle that every bodybuilder has, I'm talking from every single class, from bikini to open class bodybuilding, all the muscle they have is completely and utterly unnecessary. It's not functional, it's not useful. It's only there for show for that sport. So when you're looking at like, hey man, it seems like you can only get as much muscle when you're on gear. Yeah, but it's not what you need, right? So understand that. I'm telling you this from like just my experience. It's not what you need. I don't care if you got 270 pounds of muscle, 270 pounds of fat. I felt fat. I felt my breathing, my mobility, tying my shoes, doing regular ass shit. It's the same. It's the same feeling. I can guarantee that they did studies on how you felt when you were big as a bodybuilder or just obese. There'd be some very massive similarities there. All right, we're going to a couple more questions, guys. My bad. We're going to do this again next week. So remember, guys, next week we're doing these. I'm going to answer one more question. My wife is 4 weeks out from a powerlifting competition, and she just lacerated her finger very badly, chopping tomatoes. Ooh, 2 days ago. Is there, if it were you in your situation, would you strategy be so I'm laughing. Here's why I'm laughing, okay? Wait, because I'm like, I was about to say something. I'm like, you hypocrite, you can't see shit. See this? See that finger? That is because I broke my finger playing my last game, my last season of football ever. This is my going away gift from the football gods. I broke my finger in the last game of football, had in a splint, decided I'm going to bodybuild after making it was a week decision. I was bodybuilding, and I'm like, this thing's bugging me. And I took it off, and I just trained without the splint. And I now have this finger forever unless I get surgery done on it. So, you know, if like I would say, man, get one of them little finger condoms. You know, like make sure like you have it wrapped up. Make sure it's not like if it's gonna continue to open and open and open and open, then I would yeah I have to advise against it. But like I also do know athletes, and we'll do some shit because we're just competitive. And there you go. So just proceed with caution. Be smart about it, right? Infections, like it'd be shitty getting an infection because you want to, powerlifting foods. But I completely understand. It's in 4 weeks. You're. I mean, if you're, I don't know how bad this lacerated. Like if you almost chopped it off, like. So I would make sure that, wrap that thing up as much as you can and make sure there's not pressure on it, opening up the stitches or incisions or whatever it is, and just be smart about it. But from an athlete to an athlete, I can't tell you stop. 4 weeks out, I'm gonna be like, find a way to make it work. Be smart about that decision, though. Appreciate you guys. Blood out. Yeah. Yeah, perfect. Anyway, guys, I gotta go. I gotta do some videos, and I got some consults coming up. But guys, if you have other questions, you want to actually just like one-on-one hour with me, video consult, it's $134. There's no tax. With me, hour conversation. We chat about anything, and then if you guys if you want to do a plan after, whether it's one-time plan or just even coaching, I deduct $100 off. You get to use the money you used towards any kind of training. So do that. And if you don't want that, guys, 3, 4, 5 day splits, push pull training ebook, all the good stuff. I'm done selling. Head on to johnnysheet.com and more. Until next time, guys, I appreciate you guys all. Next week, I want to answer these questions. Next week Monday. Join me here, guys. Next week Monday. If you join my school group, we're having more in-depth, intimate ask me anything, AMA, Q&As, and all the good stuff on my school group in link description below. Anyway, guys, until next time, appreciate you guys. Iron Share Bazaar, Progressive Overload Your Life. In the meantime, keep dream chasing. Peace.